Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks 40k channel and welcome to our latest 40k battle report. We have been very nicely invited round to Winters SEO's new studio. So he is hosting the battle for us today. So there'll be one on our channel and one on Winters as well, which I'll put a link in the description below. So mission for today, we are doing ITC scenario 1, which is Emperor's Will with modified Maelstrom. So Emperor's Will tokens we have for this side of the battlefield, we have number 3 here, and then we have 3 over there, and we have 1 and 2 objective markers apiece. So there's 1 behind the large rock formation there, 1 in the centre of the road, which is going to turn into just a valley of death, I'd have thought. We have a number 2 down here on the left hand side of the battlefield, and final number 1 objective is hiding behind the remains of a cliff face.
Okay, so this is the Grey Knight force that I'm going against today. It's a Nemesis strike force, which means they get to deep strike from turn 1. And it consists of a 5-man Terminator squad. There is a Psy Cannon and a Demon Hammer in that squad. Exactly the same in the second squad. The 2 HQ, we have a level 3 Librarian, and we have a Captain, which has got a Psy Cannon and falchions. And then we have 5-man Strike Squad with an Incinerator. And a second 5-man squad, exactly the same build. At the back we have 2 Dread Knights. This one has the P Silencer and the Psy Cannon, and this one has the Incinerator and the Hammer, and that comes with the jump ability as well. And then rounding out the force, the Lord of War is a Knight Crusader, and it has the carapace mounted rocket pods. My Iron Hands today, this is a 1750 list. This is potentially one of the forces which I'll be taking to No Retreat 3 in Gibraltar. So I have 2 HQ. I have a Captain in Cataphractii armour, and he has Lightning Claws. And his second in command is a level 1 Librarian. He hasn't got the grav pistol, he's just got a bolt pistol, and he is running with Prescience. My troops are all exactly the same. 3 squads, 5-man tactical squad, melter gun in each, and they're all in Razorbacks. First elite choice, and this is my sort of anti-air, and also can pump out a lot of shots. Not that I need anti-air against Grey Knights, but in the tournament I might need it. So with the 2 Carries pattern assault cannons there. My second elite choice is the Cataphractii Terminators. This is sort of WYSIWYG. So there's a Flamer in the squad. The Sergeant has a Chain Fist, and there are 2 other guys with Chain Fists. First heavy support choice is the Grav Centurions. The Sergeant doesn't have the missiles, he just has the Hurricane Bolters. And then I have, rounding out the force, the 2 Thud Guns with the Shatter Shots. And then my Lord of War is a Knight Paladin, and he is completely stock. So that is 1750. This is one of the lists which I'm thinking about taking. The change which I might make, depending on how this goes, is maybe transport for the Terminators. So I might swap the Contemptor with a Storm Raven, but let's see how this battle goes. So my deployment, on my left flank, I have my 2 Razorbacks with a 5-man tactical squads in. They are just shielding the Contemptor Dreadnought. Also sitting on my objective, which is just under that Thud Gun there. Have my 2 Thud Guns on this side. Nice open line of fire to anything around the middle of the table. My Centurions are just trying to get some line of sight blocking. I haven't got first turn, so I'm going to be getting a lot of Grey Knights up in my face very, very quickly. On my right flank, I have my Knight and my last Razorback with the tactical squad are just supporting him. We have objectives here, so hopefully they can jump on that. And these are all my reserves. So my Terminators are coming in Deep Strike, and obviously the tactical squads are in the Razorbacks. Grey Knights deployment, because it's a Nemesis strike force. We have a Knight on the table, and we have a Dread Knight on the table. And have I missed anything? No, that's it. Everything else is coming in from Deep Strike Reserve. Right, so the Nemesis Strike Force, despite my Warlord trait making them come in on a 4+ rather than a 3+, he managed to roll lots of 5s and 6s anyway, so pretty much the entire force has come in, apart from one squad of power armor guys. So a lot of them are deep striked, very successful deep strike. There was only one guy that had to take a dangerous terrain check in that squad. Everything else hit bang on. So we have all the Terminators on this side. The Dread Knight has also deep striked in successfully here. So the Grey Knight's objectives this turn was to hold objective 2, which obviously they're sitting on there, which is why they've all deep striked over this side. They've also got destroy an enemy unit, which is also why they're all clustered around, probably pointing at one of my units. The Knight has just popped around the corner. Lots of shots that he's going to be pumping out. Not really that many targets at the moment, but we'll see what happens there. And then the only squad of power armor guys, they just are sitting back here, just ready to jump on objective 3, I'm guessing, when things have started to play out. That was quite brutal. So yeah, I've got 2 Razorbacks go pop in that turn, and the tactical squads getting out are both pinned. So that's good.
Swung, didn't it, Rob?
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Also, my Thud guns have decided to drive away. They've broken, so they're running away. So basically, everything that needed to take a morale check in that turn failed. Yeah, so it's gone really well. That was the combined fire of all of this and also the Knight. So I suppose you could probably predict that was going to happen. On a positive note, Centurions haven't been touched, and nor is there anything over here. So I've at least got something which I can shoot back with, which is always a bonus. But yeah, not going great this turn, for me at least. Right, so my Thud guns have regrouped, and they're pretty much back in the position where they were before. The Contemptor Dreadnought has dragged itself over the wreckage of the 2 Razorbacks and has come round the corner. Can just about get a line of fire on that Dread Knight. So this tactical squad and this tactical squad are obviously still pinned and hiding behind the wreckage of their transports. Centurions have moved around. They are just within 24 inches of that front squad there, so some nice grab shots will be going in. They are shrouded though, so we'll get some cover save. The Knight has moved through the gap and is full 12 inches. My objectives that I pulled out were to score objective 1, so he is just within range of that. I'll just measure that up. I think he should be. And also have 3 of my units within my own deployment zone and none of my enemies. So I need to try and get rid of this in order to score that. So it's probably unlikely. But yeah, let's see how we go. So on to shooting. So my iron hands, as you saw, were on the bad end of an ass whooping. However, they kind of turned it around a bit in that turn, because all of these guys, well, this is where it started badly. All of these guys shot into the Dread Knight and didn't do anything. The Centurions, however, they shot into the Librarian squad yeah, they kind of all died in that squad. The amount of ones that Mike has just rolled was something to behold. Not for Mike, admittedly. Bearing in mind, bearing in mind that he had a 2-up shrouding save on there, so you know he was feeling pretty confident there. Yeah, there was a lot of ones rolled there, so yeah, they got wiped out, and then my Contemptor Dreadnought decided to shoot at the Dread Knight, the one with the shunt. Yeah, that died. Again, lots of ones. Then the Thud Gun shot at these guys, and some more ones. So, yeah, just the one died there. And, oh, sorry, actually. The Knight did shoot at that squad as well. So, and he finished off the Dread Knight. So, yeah, that was quite a good round of shooting by me, actually. So that might have actually got me back in the game. So, yeah, quite happy with that. So, it would be on to Assault, but there's no Assault. Only other thing to mention is my Rhino moved 12, and then he's put his foot down, gone an extra 6. So Mike has pulled out the objective, which is get within 12 inches of my board edge, which the Knight is currently doing, and destroy a enemy unit. So with that in mind, obviously he's moved his Dread Knight to here, so he can do some nice shots all the way along here. His other power armor squad decided to deep strike here, scattered back there, and then mishapped. So yeah, yet another one, which is really good when you're playing Grey Knights, I find. So yeah. Other than that, so these guys just shuffled forward a bit. The Knight running in fear from my Knight, clearly holding the road, and the other power armor guys have just sat on their objective. This guy, he shot into that squad and did kill 3. These guys, the Terminators, with prescience, managed to kill one of my Thud Guns and put 1 on 1 wound. That's the good news of this turn. The Knight, with all that epic firepower, targeted the Centurions and my Contemptor. Fear boiled up in me. But, alas, they survived. I only failed a couple of armour saves with the Centurions, and then managed to roll a couple of 6s on the Feel No Pain, just to add insult to injury, and everything bounced off the front of the Contemptor. So, not such a good round of shooting there from the Grey Knights. So, yeah, it's just one of those comedy games where nothing is going right for Mike, unfortunately. He's rolling so many ones. So we're on to Assault now. So hopefully this guy's going to mash up these guys. They wanted to charge into the Thud Guns, but because they killed one, that's a 15-inch charge. So that's not happening. Nothing happened. Yeah, the Dice Gods decided that wasn't going to happen, so it didn't. Right, so on this turn I have rolled for secure objective 1 and destroy an enemy unit. So with that in mind, my Razorback that was here has scooted over 12 inches and is now holding that. That has got a squad in, so even if it gets popped, I should still be holding that. The Knight has jumped over here. I would have liked to have tried to get a charge range, but with where Mike has positioned that, I just can't get close to him this turn. My Terminators decided that they didn't want to show up this turn, so yeah, they're still off the table. The Centurions have hopped across the barricade and are within 24 inches of the Dread Knight. The tactical squad that was behind that Razorback have just jumped up to get up in the face of the Dread Knight, maybe bog him down, and then the other 5-man squad that was here have just moved to try and help me secure objective 3. The Contemptor has moved round to try and get some shots on those Terminators. He did really well last turn against the Dread Knight, so hopefully he can do the same this turn. So my Grav Centurions, although prescience was denied on them, did still manage to score 12 hits, and they all went into the Dread Knight and pulled him down. Because of that, the tactical squad then shot into the Terminator squad, did not cause any wounds. However, the Knight pumped all of his fire into them. So did the Contemptor Dreadnought, and there is just 2 guys remaining. The Warlord is out on his own. He did survive the Strength 8 battle cannon shots, but he's still hanging in there. So the remaining Terminator squad have moved round to finish off these two. The 2 objectives that Mike's pulled out this turn are just to destroy enemy units. So that's only a 2-man squad, so that should be pretty doable. The Knight again is backed off. Terrified of my Knight. Yeah, so he's probably going to rain some shots in at the Centurions. Maybe their luck will run out, and that will be his 2nd unit destroyed. The power armor guys are just sitting on the objective there, not really helping out much. And that's basically it. There's nothing else to come in from reserve. The remaining 2 Terminators shot at the tactical squad, did not manage to wound them, but then assaulted them. They got hammer handoff in the psychic, so finished those 2 off quite easily. In the rest of the shooting, the Knight shot into the Centurions, and the Contemptor only managed to take 1 wound off a Centurion. The missiles bounced off the side armour of the Contemptor, but there was some damage done to the Razorback. It's lost its gun and it is shaken, but it still has 1 hull point remaining, so only managed to score 1 destroy enemy unit. He was hoping for the 2, but that Razorback got very, very lucky there. So my tactical squad have jumped up on the wreckage of their transport to put some shots down in the Warlord and his bodyguard. Third gun has just turned round to shoot down, rain some death on them there. Centurions, I was a little bit unsure what to do. They can't actually get a line of fire on these guys, so they've just moved a little bit closer just in case they pop their head out. With that in mind, the Contemptor has had to just move forward. He can actually rend the Knight potentially. My Knight has moved up. He is sitting on objective 2. Not that that matters because I've pulled out objective 1 and destroy a unit. My Warlord and his squad have arrived. They've deep strike. They did not mishap for probably the first time ever that I have done in a battle. And I pulled out score objective 1. So the tactical squad that was in the damaged Razorback have jumped out. The Razorback has just sort of pivoted round to give them some cover, but he's also holding that objective, so hopefully they might be at the end of my turn. So my Imperial Knight has shot down at the Grey Knight sitting on objective and killed 4 of them, yeah, nearly all of them. So there's 1 remaining guy there. He is very brave though. He did not break. That was pretty much it really on this side of the battlefield. Everything else sort of pumped into the front of the Knight. Some rending shots got through but was saved on the shield. Big news though, the Thud gun rained down the shatter shots, instantly killing the Warlord and his buddy that was standing next to him. So I've scored Warlord in that turn. So it is not looking good for the Grey Knights. They have an Imperial Knight on the table and 1 lone Power Marine in the corner. So we're going to move on to turn 4. To be fair, the points are still in favour of the Grey Knight, so I have probably got to table him. Basically, the only thing that could shoot, because this guy ran away and hid like a little girl in the bush. The knight has obviously jumped up, scared of my knight, who wouldn't be. But he's rained an awful lot of fire down into the Terminators and the Warlord, killing 3 Terminators and dropping a wound off my Warlord. They have held morale though, so hopefully I can try and get into combat with him next turn. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a review of the combined turn. So this tactical squad has just moved to hold my Emperor's Will objective. The Grav Centurions, the only thing which they can actually see and do anything to is the knight, but they're well out of range, so they're just plodding up the road towards that. The Contemptor did actually pump a few shots in, got a couple of Wrens, managed to take off 1 hull point, and the knight did shoot 2 of his battle cannons straight into his face, but they bounced. My Terminators only managed to stumble over that barricade, so they're not in assault range, unfortunately. My Razorback has moved round to secure the Emperor's Will. The objectives that I got were hold objective 1, which I'm doing with that, and I've also got the objective 1 over here, should they get shot off, and destroy something. So I was hoping that my Thud Gun could barrage this guy to death. I only managed to hit him just the once, and then rolled a 2 for the wound, so he is still alive. So really uneventful, just 1 hull point off the knight. That is it. We've decided to call it now, because the only thing that is alive really that can do anything is the knight, and he's just going to get shot off the table eventually. I am actually now outscoring on the Maelstrom. I hold both Emperor's Will objectives, so that is it. It's really, really bad luck from Mike, really, so probably not a fair comparison of how my list can do, to be honest with you, but hope you enjoyed that, guys. Remember to like, comment, love to see your feedback if you think I can make any changes to the list, love to hear that, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much, see you in the next one.